What is up, LEGO fans? Cow60Bricks here, and today I'm going to be doing a comparison of two very similar LEGO Ninjago sets. So how this is going to work is, first I'm going to go through the general information of both of the sets, then I'm going to compare in depth their minifigures, their builds and design, and the playability within the sets before giving a score to each of them out of 50. Now, if you'd like to see that ranking system explained, you should go tap on the card in the top right corner. But without further ado, let's just start off with the information on Journey to the Skull Dungeons. First set here is set 71717, Journey to the Skull Dungeons. It came out in 2020 as part of the Season 13 Summer Wave. It came with 4 minifigures retailed for €30 and had 401 pieces, and it can also connect onto the larger Skull Dungeons. And as for the other set, it's going to be set 71747, The Keeper's Village. Just recently came out March 1st, 2021 as part of the Season 14 Wave. It had 5 minifigures, retailed for €50 and came with 632 pieces. And it's a very good set. We're just going to take a brief look at the minifigures. So in terms of Skull Dungeons, you get 3 ninja and you get a Month. In terms of the Keeper's Village, you get 3 ninja as well, a Thunder Keeper, which is pretty much equal to the Months, and then you get the addition of the main villain, Chief Mantis. Now you might be saying, oh, you're getting a better deal here. However, you got to keep in mind, this is €20 more. So I'd probably say you're probably getting a little bit better here. Now, in my opinion, I much prefer the design of the Keepers and the Island Ninja over the Months and the Season 13 Hero Ninja. However, that does come down to your opinion, because you are getting the same amount of ninja. It depends again, what are your favourite kinds of ninja, because that will come into effect. So that does come down to it. If we look at the extra things you get, for example, this little like hero player thing, I suppose it comes with hearts, crate for weapons. You also get the Spinjitzu dice, which is very nice. However, in this set, there are many weapons scattered throughout, so there's a lot of customizability there. Personally, I prefer these minifigures more. However, looking from a unbiased standpoint, I do think it is quite a close call. Now what I'm going to do is take a look at the design of Journey to the Skull Dungeons. So we have a really nice like pathway going up with the lava. It definitely looks great. I love like all the rocky designs of Spider. The stairs are nice as well. And yeah, just a lot of like rock texturing, and the lava and everything is great. We have an amazing design up here with the panels in the back. And the sword fits perfectly there. Obviously, those green fire pieces and your little cauldron there. You got your little cage. It's more playability, but in terms of design, it does look nice enough. I think it takes a little bit away, but in terms of playability, it's definitely great. Now, this doesn't look anything too special. It's nice, but nothing too special. In terms of like a design feature, these two parts do come apart, much like we'll see with the Keeper's Village. So there's 2 different sections. There's the path section, and then there's the main section, which is very similar to the Keeper's Village. And then turning it around, you can also put some weapons there. Those aren't included, but we did put them in there ourselves. There's a little bed here where minifigures can sleep, but yeah, it's not that great in terms of design, in my opinion. Now we're going to take a look at the Keeper's Village, and I'm just going to take it apart first before we see what it looks like together. So the first section here, much like with the other one, can come off, and I think it's pretty obvious which one looks better. This one's just so simple, being a smaller set, but again, the piece count isn't too far off. Like everything here, the colours, the foliage looks amazing. There's a lot of play features here, which we'll get to. I really like the look of this sand pit. I just really like all the green. I wish there was a bit more, is my only complaint, I guess. The water leading up and the crab and everything. It looks really great. And then this section here is an easy win. Looking at the 2 of those compared, there's just no competition to me. You've just got all this great lava detail here, the grass, the stairs growing up is amazing. I just love the rock work. I love the entrance here. I think it just works really well, and this swinging off is just quite satisfying to me. I don't know why, but it fits in very well. You have this greatly sculpted dragon mold. It's part of a play feature, which we'll take a look at later. The fire here just looks really great, finishes it off really nicely. Like, just look at that design for a second. It's just great. Then this archway again, really nice. Here's more of the weapons I spoke about that they just have. Then the stairs lead up to this bit, probably the weakest part, because I don't really like this seat too much. It looks a bit stupid, but at the same time it does add to the design nicely. And then we have the stone golem. We'll take a closer look at him later. But in terms of design, I really do like how they've used the white weapon pack And I really like that they each have a different distinct colour, the brown, the yellow and the red, and then they have different faces as well. And then we have the amulet on top. Yeah, definitely a great design for him. Swinging this bit around, we see a small bit of interior. It's definitely nothing special. However, I really like how they've managed to make this like line up so perfectly, the jail cell, even though it is actually a separate part, of course. But I think it just lines up very nicely there. So just for one last time, we're going to take a look at them side by side just together. Once again, this one just looks absolutely pathetic compared to this. I mean, it looks like a really nice set, and it is a good set on its own. But when you put it to this, it doesn't compare at all. All of the colours here, the rock work, they've just really gotten it down here. Really amazing job with it. And there's not that much price increase or piece increase. Like, it really looks like this one is nearly double the size of this. You're wondering where have all the pieces gone, especially considering this is just a big one. I think they've just put way too much detail into the rocks, but like this set has a lot more pieces than it looks, and I don't know where they're going, and I think they've been a little bit wasted. Everything from the stairs here is beating it. This whole rock work bit is beating it. Like this has a bit of lava, and this is a completely lava set, but this one has done the lava better, like the flowing. I mean, this one has done it well, but it just does not compare at all in the slightest. So that's just the last like look at both of them together. So Journey to the Skull Dungeons does have a few play features, not many, but a few, and there's one very cool one, I think. So obviously there's just like the play aspects of them walking up. There's obviously the board game, but we're not going to discuss that here. That is a separate thing, really, and just in terms of the set itself. And then there's a really fun play feature here. This is my favorite one, though it's pretty much the only like play function where you can just pop them off. Sometimes it works a little bit better than that, but yeah, you get the gist of it. And then you can just load that back in, which is hard to do when you're looking through the eyes of a camera. And then obviously like a spider, some play there, the stairs as well. Little cauldron, you can do a game with that. Obviously, like the aim is kind of to get the Blade of Shintaro. There's also a trap, so I'm just going to put the ninja in that there. Alright, so there he is. You may have noticed that the Kai turned into a J, but that was a Season 14 minifigure, and I also feel like J gets captured a lot more, so this felt more fitting. Now, a few things I did notice about the trap. You can't have them standing up, which isn't great, and it can be quite difficult to actually get them sitting onto the studs. Now, there is actually a play function I never actually realised, whereby twisting this knob, you can make it lower or go higher, basically. Now, it's definitely not as good as the function in the other set, but it works well enough. And then we have a little bed. Obviously, they can sleep there in a crystal, and just little play features like that. Not too much, but it's nice enough. So the first play function is a cleverly disguised trap. So we just have a bunch of leaves here. It looks completely normal. And obviously, the idea is that the ninja will just step on it. Then you get this little lever back here, and whoop. And then he is caught in a trap right above the sandpit. A lot of imaginative play there, and basically then you can, just to reload it, you just bring the tree down again, and you just put the leaf onto this little piece here, and it clips in nicely. It's not stuck in there, but it does fit in nicely. So another play feature here is, so you can have this leaf like this, and it's covering up the trap, and you can see a little warning sign there. And you just press down, and then it goes like that. Another thing you can do with this, now it doesn't specifically say, but I noticed you could do, is you can just press back here and just make the ninja go like flying up, which I think is pretty fun. And then there's also this, which can shoot out some like purple pieces. And it's a kind of shooter I've never seen before. It shoots 1x1 tiles. You probably didn't see them go shooting out, but yeah, basically you just push down on it and they come shooting out. Now, of course, this set has the same sort of imaginative play functions, such as going up the stairs, you know, like whatever you want really, like the interior with the cauldron, all the weapons scattered around, you know, all of that kind of stuff. But in terms of actual play functions, obviously there's this swinging open, which does count. You can access the prison cell, and you can put a person in there, and there's a unique function to, like, I suppose, let them out, where you press on the leave. Oops, sorry. You press on the leave here, and then we'll see what happens when you do that. Basically, it opens up this, and the person can get out. But we're not going to let them out because we're mean. The very last feature would be the stone golem, so you can take each section off fairly easily. They each come apart, and then there's a lot of like fighting play to be had, and I can find that these would be like quite twisty and like fun to fight with. I can imagine, like, you can just go like that and stuff, I don't know. And they each have like little weapons and a lot of posability in the arm joints as well, which is really great. They all have like a unique design as well, especially this one. You could pretend you can like fly or something like that. So definitely very fun with the three of these, and that definitely adds to the play features. And just to stack them back up, so the yellow goes on the brown and he fits in nicely. The red one sort of clicks in, which is a little bit weird, but it's just because he's built a little bit differently. And then just pop them back on, and the red axle sticking back out goes right back in, and we're back to the beautiful set. Right, so now it's time to give each set a score out of 50 and decide which one is better. So in terms of design, Journey to the Skull Dungeons has a nice enough one, but it's nothing spectacular. Going to be a 6 out of 10. Now, Keeper's Village has an immaculate design. There's nearly nothing wrong with it. There's just a few points I believe it could improve in, which is going to give it a 9 out of 10. Playability is much the same story. Journey to the Skull Dungeons has nice playability, but I believe that the Keeper's Village has amazing playability, so that's going to be another 6 and 9. Minifigures wise, I already said they're pretty equal, so that's going to be an 8 each. And in terms of value, Journey to the Skull Dungeons, although it has a very nice piece count, and that is going to give it a little bit of an edge, overall I don't think it is too much worth for your money just feeling it itself. It's going to be a 6 out of 10. Now the value for the Keeper's Village is incredible in my opinion. That's got to be a 9 out of 10. You're just getting so much in my opinion in that set. Speaking of my opinion for Journey to the Skull Dungeons, I do see that as a very great set, although it's just not too good for me, but it is nice enough, so a 7 out of 10. And then the Keeper's Village, as you can probably tell, I absolutely adore that set, so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Adding that up, we get 33 out of 50 for Journey to the Skull Dungeons and 44 out of 50 for the Keeper's Village. Now 33 is still a pretty good score, but 44 is an incredible score. You can see how good the Keeper's Village really is just with that score alone. Very, very, very few sets that I review get into the 40s, so that's really, really good for it. So yeah, I absolutely recommend, if you have the extra 20, pick up the Keeper's Village. It's well more than worth the extra 20. I just don't think Journey to the Skull Dungeons is going to be really worth spending any money on, especially when there's a Keeper's Village out there. So if you have €30 and that's it, I recommend just save up for a little bit more. Keeper's Village is going to be around for a lot longer. Save up that extra 20 because you are going to be wasting that €30 on the Journey to the Skull Dungeons. Hope you enjoyed the video. That's all from me. Have a great. I almost forgot. If you don't like, subscribe and share this with your friends. The buildable bat will be very upset.